She called her dad's private line, even though she knew what would happen. Voicemail. She'd been trying for 3 days, ever since the dream. Wilderness school only allowed phone privileges once a day, but she'd called every evening and gotten nowhere. Reluctantly, she dialed the other number. Her dad's personal assistant answered immediately. "Mr. McLean's office?" "Jane," Piper said, gritting her teeth. "Where's my dad?" Jane was silent for a moment, probably wondering if she could get away with hanging up. "Piper, I thought you weren't supposed to call from school." "Maybe I'm not at school," Piper said. "Maybe I ran away to live among the woodland creatures." Jane didn't sound concerned. "Well, I'll tell him you called." "Where is he?" "Out." "You don't know, do you?" Piper lowered her voice, hoping that Annabeth was too nice to eavesdrop. "When are you going to call the police, Jane? He could be in trouble." "Piper, we're not going to turn this into a media circus. I'm sure he's fine. He doesn't take off occasionally. He always comes back." "So it's true. You don't know." "I have to go, Piper," Jane snapped. "Enjoy school." The line went dead. Piper cursed. She walked back to Annabeth and handed her the phone. "No luck?" Annabeth asked. Piper didn't answer. She didn't trust herself not to start crying again. Annabeth glanced at the phone display and hesitated. "Your last name is McLean? Sorry, it's not my business, but that sounds really familiar." "Common name." "Yeah, I guess. What did your dad do?" "He got a degree in the arts," Piper said automatically. "He's a Cherokee artist." Her standard response. Not a lie, just not the whole truth. Most people, when they heard that, figured her dad sold Indian souvenirs at a roadside stand on the reservations. Sitting bull bobbleheads, wampum necklaces, big chief tablets, that kind of thing. "Oh." Annabeth didn't look convinced, but she put the phone away. "Are you feeling okay? Want to keep going?" Piper fastened her new dagger to her belt and promised herself that later, when she was alone, she'd figure out how it worked. "Sure," she said. "I want to see everything." All the cabins were cool, but none of them struck Piper as hers. No burning signs, wombats or otherwise, appeared over her head. Cabin 8 was entirely silver and glowed like moonlight. "Artemis?" Piper guessed. "You know your Greek mythology," Annabeth said. "I did some reading when my dad was working on a project last year." "I thought he did Cherokee art." Piper bit back a curse. "Oh, right, but you know, he does other stuff too." Piper thought that she'd blown it. McLean, Greek mythology. Thankfully, Annabeth didn't seem to make the connection. "Anyway," Annabeth continued, "Artemis is the goddess of the moon, goddess of hunting, but no campers. Artemis is an eternal maiden, so she doesn't have any kids." Oh, that kind of bummed Piper out. She'd always liked the stories of Artemis and figured she'd make a cool mom. "Well, there are the hunters of Artemis," Annabeth amended. "They sometimes visit. They're not the children of Artemis, but they're her handmaidens, this band of immortal teenage girls who adventure together and hunt monsters and stuff." Piper perked up. "That sounds cool. They get to be immortal? Unless they die in combat or break their vows. Did I mention they have to swear off boys? No dating, ever, for eternity." "Oh," Piper said. "Never mind." Annabeth laughed. For a moment she looked almost happy, and Piper thought that she'd be a cool friend to hang out with in better times. "Forget it," Piper reminded herself. "You're not going to make any friends here. Not once they find out." They passed the next cabin, number 10, which was decorated like a Barbie house with lace curtains, a pink door, and potted carnations in the windows. They walked by the doorway and the smell of perfume almost made Piper gag. "Gah! Is that where supermodels are supposed to go to die?" Annabeth smirked. "It's Aphrodite's cabin, goddess of love. Drew is the head counselor." "Figures," Piper grumbled. "They're not all that bad," Annabeth said. "The last head counselor we had was great." "What happened to her?" Annabeth's expression darkened. "We should keep moving." They looked at the other cabins, but Piper just got more depressed. She wondered if she could be the daughter of Demeter, the farming goddess. Then again, Piper liked killing every plant she ever touched. Annabeth was cool. Athena was cool. Or maybe Hecate, the magic goddess. But it didn't really matter. Even here, where everyone was supposed to find a lost parent, she knew she'd still end up the unwanted kid. She was not looking forward to the campfire tonight. "We started with 12 Olympian gods," Annabeth explained. "Male gods on the left, female on the right. Then last year we added a whole bunch of new cabins for the other gods who didn't have thrones on Olympus. Hecate, Hades, Iris." "What are the two big ones on the end?" Piper asked. Annabeth frowned. Zeus and Hera, king and queen of the gods. Piper headed that way, and Annabeth followed, though she didn't act very excited.